So in this video, I want to show how you can create really cool graphics like this one and this one using a free AI tool called Napkin AI. So the whole value proposition behind Napkin AI is that you can transform your text into visually engaging graphics in seconds. So if we look at the homepage here, what you do is you take a chunk of text, you feed it into Napkin AI, and it's going to create all these really cool graphics for you. So just to show you a quick proof of concept, when I was developing the lead magnet for my website, which is it's a free 5-day AI and automation bootcamp for course creators, I kind of plugged in my copy into Napkin AI, and it created this visual representation of my bootcamp, which talks about using AI tools, using automation so that you can reduce busy work in your business and then ultimately transition into the digital CEO of your business. And I kind of just brain dumped that into Napkin AI, and it came up with this really cool graphic that I now use on my landing page for my lead magnet. So just real quick before I dive in showing you how to actually use this tool, let's talk specific real life use cases, because there's a bunch of AI tools out there and not all of them are actually helpful for content creators and course creators. But Napkin AI, I think, is really helpful where you can include these graphics in a number of areas, right? So number one is on a webinar. If you're selling your course via webinar, whether it's live or automated, you can insert these really cool graphics throughout your webinar slides. Number two is on social media. If you're doing Instagram posts or even Facebook page posts, you can create these really cool graphics on Napkin AI as well. And then number three is on a sales page, right? If you're creating a really elegant long form sales page, you can kind of spruce it up with these really cool visuals. So those are three specific use cases if you're a creator selling your own courses where you can actually use these graphics. All right, let's hop into an actual example. So remember, the way that Napkin AI works is you feed it a bunch of text first, and then based on that text, it's going to come up with the graphic. Now, let's pretend, and this I'm going to show you right here, let's pretend that I have a digital course to real estate agents about Instagram marketing. So let's say that I'm an Instagram expert. I'm definitely not. And my target audience is real estate agents. And I teach real estate agents how to get more views, more leads, and more sales using Instagram, right? So that's the use case. And now the specific example is that I want to create a 3-part framework. So if you're in the digital course business, you've probably been taught about using frameworks in your webinars, in your sales emails, on your sales pages, because they can convey a message in a really powerful way. So I'm inside ChatGPT, and again, I need to get this text, or I need to get text into Napkin AI for Napkin AI to generate a visual. So to get that text, I mean, you could certainly create this on your own, but I find that ChatGPT is really helpful for things like this. So my prompt to ChatGPT is, I am selling a course to real estate agents for how to get more leads and sales on Instagram. I want to develop a 3-part framework to help illustrate my messaging. And ChatGPT understood the prompt, and it came up with a 3-part framework, right, that real estate agents can understand and apply to get more leads and sales. And it came up with a 3-part framework of attract, right, attracting the right audience, engaging that audience, and then converting that audience. Okay, so once you have some kind of text to work with, then we can go ahead and feed it into Napkin AI. All right, now that I have my text, I'm just going to copy this from ChatGPT. I'm going to go into Napkin AI, and you can see the original one that I created right over here, right? So this is the first time that I did this. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it from scratch. You know, very basic, but very cool looking graphic, I think. So back in Napkin AI, right, once you're logged in with your account, I'm going to go to New Napkin. And let me just move this out of the way. Now, there's 2 options here. You can draft it with AI, meaning you can give it a prompt yourself, or you can start with a blank napkin where you provide the text. I kind of prefer providing my own text. So you can call it whatever you want, Instagram course for real estate agents, or this is really the framework here. And all I'm going to do is copy in that text from ChatGPT without the prompt stuff and without this. All right, so this is what Napkin is going to base the graphics on. Now, there's a couple of things to notice here. Now, you can see as I hover my mouse over, you'll see this little lightning bolt. Now, when you click that, it will start to generate the graphics. And the way that we've kind of formatted this specific framework, right, is we have 3 parts. And when I go into each section, I'm going to get a specific image. So that's me just clicking that spark button there, and it's going to generate a graphic based on that phase, which is the attract phase. And here are the graphics that it generated. Now, it has many different options or styles, they call it, right? So we can just scroll through a couple of these here. And again, this is for the attract phase, or attracting clients on Instagram. Now, there's probably 7 to 10 different options here, and we can kind of just pick one and then click into it. I just wanted to show you a couple different options. But once I find one that I like, I can click into it, and then it's going to go into the second level, which is, all right, we'll take the template here of this first option and then just give you variations of that template. So these all look pretty similar. They're just kind of formatted differently. So you can see the options here. I could pick this second one, okay? And now it's created that part of it, right? Again, meaning the first part, which is attract. So this is the Instagram attract phase. Now I can come in here, I can change the font, I can change what this heading says, the text itself, change the colors and, center it and all of that good stuff. And then I can come into the actual graphic. And to be honest, I haven't played around with this as much because it gets a little more complicated. But you can add new elements, right? You can remove elements, right? If I don't want goal to be there, I can just come in here, click the minus button, and it will remove it. You can do some changes with the coloring, but mostly what you see is what you get in terms of the output, right? So if I wanted to break my framework up into 3 parts and, specifically create graphics for those 3 different parts, then that's one way to do it, right? So again, I could come in here under engage and click the bolt, and now it will give me some graphic ideas just for the engage phase. And, I think it's helpful to show some of the variations here because there are a lot of different templates that they have, even though they're still in beta, just to show you some of the different examples here. And, I'll end up picking kind of a random one. So again, there's kind of 2 levels to the graphics. One is you decide on the style that you like. And once you click into the style, it's going to give you variations of that one, mostly playing with the coloring and the font, some black and white. So let's, again, pick a random one here. So engaging Instagram followers, right? So we've got responding to comments, using stories, running polls. So again, it's taking the context of the text that we pasted in, and it's turning it into a graphic. And again, all of this is customizable, including the fonts and the colors and stuff like that. All right, so that's for making a napkin for each part of the framework. Now, what if we want one graphic for the overall framework, right? And we can do that. So if I highlight just all of the text here, now you can see there's only one lightning bolt, okay? So it's gonna then take all of that text and create one graphic, which is what I did when I created this one. So again, the process is exactly the same. Gonna click that lightning bolt, and now it's gonna make a graphic, again, based on the entire framework. And we've got many examples here. Again, we can choose, whichever one that you like here. Now let's just pick this one. This one's a little different. Go to so there's only 2 styles for these. I think it depends on, obviously, which one you pick, on how many options they have. Again, they are in beta. So, there's a decent amount of styles available, but I think they're adding new ones all the time. What about this one? And it's really a matter of just kind of clicking around and seeing what grabs your attention, or what you're going for here. But this is the one that I picked originally, and then I picked one of the options here, and eventually came to this just by playing kind of with the title, adding some colors to these icons, which you can do. So let me just show you that. Again, most of what you see on the screen is customizable. So I can click this icon here and I can change it, right? So it's giving me more options here. Maybe I like that one better. And I can also change the color like this. So this one is engage, right? But you can see how accurate these graphics are, how accurate the icons are, right? So for the word engage, it came up with a little text bubble. For the word convert, it gave us the handshake. But if you want to change them, again, just hover over the suggestions here, and it'll give you different ones. And again, you can change the colors just by hovering over like that and changing the color. All right, so that's one use cases. Again, frameworks for webinars and sales pages and emails and so on. I wanted to test out a different use case to see if Napkin AI could handle this. And that would be taking, say, a podcast episode. So say you're a podcaster, and you know how you publish a podcast, you put the transcript there with a summary. What if we could get a graphic, a visual representation of that podcast episode? Could Napkin AI handle that? I didn't know if it could. I did test it earlier and it worked, but let's do a live test here. So what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to name this, it doesn't really matter what you name it here, podcast episode. So on my clipboard, I have a transcript from an Amy Porterfield podcast episode, one of my favorite creators. So I'm going to just paste the entire transcript here, right? And this is a huge amount of text, right? The previous example, we just gave it a short framework, but I wanted to see what would Napkin AI do with a gigantic piece of text, right? Could it condense this huge podcast episode into a graphic? So it has it already, and you can see by the blue line, all of it kind of selected as one. And here we go. If we go kind of to the middle of the transcript here, we do have the option. So I'm going to click this button and see what happens, okay? So let's go all the way down. It's going to take a minute here. So we have here, unleash the power of relaunching your digital course. And this is what this specific podcast episode was about. It's titled How Relaunching Can Simplify Your Business and Increase Your Revenue. And in it, well, let me talk about some of the styles here. So let's look at some of these relaunch. So we've got a pros, cons. So it's interesting. It's taking kind of different angles here. So this angle is, what are the pros and the cons of it? This one is more of the process of doing it, right? So I do like how it's giving you, different interpretation. I kind of like this one here. So let's select this style, right? And then we can do different variations of the style here, depending on kind of what you like to see. But what about this, right? So annual relaunch strategy cycle. Now, I don't know if this fits Amy's branding per se, and I don't know if she would put this on her podcast page, but relaunch course, plan relaunch. Start with planning the relaunch, execute the marketing strategy, launch the course, gather feedback, improve the course, relaunch the course. So I think it did a really good job here, taking a 30-minute podcast episode transcript and condensing the entire thing into one graphic. So again, I don't know if this specific style is the best one, but in terms of maybe taking a YouTube video transcript, a podcast transcript, and giving a graphical representation for your users is really, really cool. All right, I just want to talk quickly on how to get these graphics out of Napkin AI and onto your website or into Canva. So it has a very easy export features. Pretty easy, right? If you kind of hover over the graphic and click into it, you can see this purple download button here. And if you click on that, it'll preview the export, right? So it's got the entire graphic here, and there's a couple options here. There's light mode and dark mode. You can have the background be white, or it can be a clear background. And then the resolution size, you can see down here, the size of the graphic itself changes 1x, 2x, or 3x. So you can download this as a PNG, an SVG, or even a PDF file, which is pretty cool. So for Canva, I usually download as a PNG file and then just come into Canva and then upload it as a new image. And here you go. This is something you can download. Again, put it on your website, put it on your sales page, put it in a webinar or a free training. And I think it's really, really, really cool. So last thing is just the pricing. This is a brand new tool. It's in beta. So even on the professional plan, it's still free. So definitely check it out. I'm sure they will introduce an actual price coming soon. But in the meantime, it's free and it's one of my favorite AI tools for creators, for content creators, for course creators. So definitely check it out.